I began this simple Easter card by doing a very light pencil drawing so that the lines don't show up too much later on. I then used an oil pastel just to pop some highlights where the light might be catching, but be careful not to overdo this if you'd have a go at that. The paper that I'm using is a Fabriana one, and it's a pre-cut card, so they come with a little score down the middle. I've used them before but not for a while, so I thought it was time I got them out, and Easter was a good opportunity to do that. And I'm kept the image itself very simple, and you can get lots of images of daffodils perhaps on Instagram, or just pop outside and draw them from life. The paints that I'm using are the Koh-I-Noor stackable ones. I really like these for the intensity of colour. I'm using them by allowing them to dry in between each layer. That way you don't have any accidents and things running where you don't want them to, and you can build up the intensity by putting them one on top of the other. So I cover the whole thing in yellow to begin with. With these particular paints, I would really suggest that you always have a bit of rough paper to the side and you try out your colour before you commit it to your actual painting, because they don't always look like they do on the palette. So that's a good tip, or maybe you could do a little sheet with all the colours on to keep notes of which ones you like. But really, really handy are the Koh-I-Noor because they're so portable and because you've got these bright colours. So they don't work exactly like a watercolour. They're quite inky in the feel, in the way that they go on, but great for children. I would really recommend them. I taped this card very lightly to the board just so that I didn't tear it when I was removing it, and I'm not using lots of water, so you don't really need it to be taped all the way around. I used a very small brush. This is a size 6 with a nice tip on it to get into all that detail on the flowers. I could have done the flowers a little bit bigger and used up more of that space, but I think it looks quite nice with all that white around it, nice and fresh and spring-like. If you wanted to, you could expand this out. You could put some blue around it for a sky behind, and really go to town. I just did the daffodil drawing from my head, but of course you could just look outside at some daffodils, or maybe you could have a look on Instagram. There'll be lots of pictures of there at the moment of ones that people have been taking whilst they're flowering at this time of year. Okay, so if you don't have any of this paper that, with this score in the middle, it's very, very easy to make your own cards. You could either just cut the size. So this probably makes about an A6 card. I didn't actually measure it, but so if you're making an A6 card, you want a piece of A5 paper and then just bend it in half. But if you score it first with a knife, it will make it a little bit easier to bend and it'll look a bit neater. So bear that in mind. Other than that, you could have just a card and then you could cut out your watercolour piece of paper and glue it to the front. So there are different ways that you can make your own watercolour cards. But I had them in a cupboard for quite a long time actually, and I thought I might as well use them. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. It's just a little bit of cheerful yellow for springtime with Easter coming up. Just a short video today, and I'll be back again soon with more tutorials and demonstrations. In the meantime, you enjoy your painting and drawing. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.
Who am I to say what you should